All right, lastly here, we got Donald Trump, new poll, CNN poll, that says that Trump's GOP support appears to soften post-indictment, but he holds a lead in primary field. So, interesting stuff here. Let's go ahead and get into the article. It says former president following, according to a new CNN poll conducted by SSRS. Most Americans approve of Trump's indictment stemming from his alleged mishandling of classified documents after leaving office, even as 71% say politics played a role in that charging decision. Though Trump continues to lead the GOP field by a wide margin in the race for the Republican Party's nomination for president, the poll suggests that his support has declined, as have positive views of him among Republican and Republican-leaning voters. Nearly a quarter now say they would not consider backing his candidacy under any circumstances. The survey also finds that those GOP-aligned voters not currently backing his 2024 bid have different views on his indictment and behavior than those in his corner. Still, there's little sign that Republican-aligned voters who aren't backing Trump are consolidating it behind any one of his rivals, nor are they unifying around wanting Trump out of the race entirely, or in feeling that his primary opponents ought to call him out for his alleged actions in the case. Overall, 47% of Republicans and Republican-leaning registered voters say that Trump is their first choice for the party's nomination for president, down from 53% in May. Support for Governor Ron DeSantis is held steady at 26% in the latest poll, with former President Mike Pence at 9%, Nikki Haley at 5%, Tim Scott 4%, Chris Christie 3%, and the remaining candidates at 1% or less. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now why this is not a big deal for Trump, and this is not some sort of sign of, oh, Trump's losing the grip of support in the GOP, and there's some room for someone else to leapfrog over him based on this. Nah, okay, because if you're Ron DeSantis and you look at all the legal peril that Trump has been involved in the last few months, the fact that he hasn't really gone up, his support's holding steady at 26%, means that sure, you might have some people that are looking at Trump and going, this stuff isn't a good look for him. This stuff might affect my personal support of him. Okay, true, but they're not all going, oh, well, we need to obviously go and support Ron DeSantis, or we obviously need to go and support a Chris Christie or a Tim Scott or a whoever. They're not doing that. They're just saying that this is a bad look for Trump, and this is a bad, a bad look for the Republican Party. But if you're Ron DeSantis, what else has to happen to Trump for you to potentially leapfrog past him? I mean, how many more indictments is it going to take? Okay, you're going to run out of time before the election. If an indictment by a federal prosecutor is only making Trump's support slip by a few points, which is within the margin of error of this poll, by the way, that's not what you would be expecting or hoping. If you're Ron DeSantis at this point, you would be hoping that you would be neck and neck at this point based on all of Trump's legal baggage that you do not have. So another way of looking at this poll is that the fact that Trump still has the support that he does in the Republican Party, even with all of his legal baggage, shows that there realistically is not any viable alternative candidate that has any sort of path to the 2024 Republican nomination. Because at this point, what you'd be expecting to see is somebody else going up and up and up if they were viewed to be a viable alternative. But that's not what we're seeing here. We're seeing a slight dip in support for Trump, but when the rubber hits the road and primary season is upon us, How many people that are saying that their view of Trump is a little bit worse than it was a few months ago in this poll, how many of them are also going to be showing up and voting for a different candidate than Trump, or donating and volunteering for and doing the political groundwork for another candidate than Trump? That remains to be very unclear. In addition to the decline in support for Trump's candidacy, his favorability rating among Republican-aligned voters has dipped from 77 to May to 67 now, while the share who say they would not support him in the nomination under any circumstances has climbed from 16% in May to 23% now. At the same time, there's been a similar increase in the share saying that they would not back DeSantis under any circumstances, up 6 points to 21%, while the shares ruling out other top candidates have held roughly steady. I just had a stroke. Yeah, so it's like you got the same amount of people just about that are now saying that they will not support Donald Trump under any circumstances. The same amount of people has increased saying that they are not going to support Ron DeSantis under any circumstances. So where exactly is there a lane breaking open here for another candidate to sweep in and leapfrog over Trump? I'm not seeing it happening. And another way of looking at it again is that the fact that Trump's support remains so solid, even with all of his legal baggage, really accentuates the point that the Republican Party has become nothing but a cult that follows Donald Trump's wishes and a cult that does Donald Trump's bidding at all costs. Okay? And with no second thought and with hardly any remorse or just thinking about why are we supporting this guy still? Maybe these numbers change. Maybe we see a Georgia indictment come out, and maybe there's other indictments that come out, and maybe Trump's support, keeps going down and keeps going down and keeps going down with each indictment, and that's maybe a potential path for somebody else to swoop in. But so far with the 2 indictments, it hasn't happened. And how many indictments are we going to need here for Trump's support to meaningfully drop, and for not only for Trump's support to drop, but for another candidate's support to go up? So what this shows me here is that Donald Trump's his security of the nomination and the odds of him being the 2024 nominee, it's about a 95% chance, I would say, at this point. And polls are going to come out that say his support has dropped here, his support has dropped there. There's people are a bit worried about the optics of all this legal trouble. It's not really, these articles and these polls are not really an indicator that anybody else has a path to the nomination. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the show there. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really love having you guys watch the show each and every week. I'll be back with another one tomorrow. And please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. And you guys have a fantastic rest of your day or night. All right, peace.